Oh, I'm loving the location. Like,
Look at this and look at that.
we had to show off a bit, right? Like,
So we are from the Bunker Hostel.
Yeah.
We have our hostels in Himachal, India, and we have two hostels. I'm Nehad. This is Ishan, and we have a third partner, Ashish. He couldn't be on the call right now. And our hostels are in Dharmkot and Bir, and they more or less are homes that we open up for our travelers, and that's how we run them, and that's how we operate. Basically.
so Dharamkot was our first hostel. So this is where we actually moved, like from the cities for the first time. Like this was the place we came and like yeah, we just wanted to make it our home.
Yeah, so Dharmkot is home ground, and Dharmkot we opened up about 4 years back, and we moved in about 2.5 years back, and yeah, it's been since 2 years we've been running these two places.
Where were you guys before this? Before the bunker?
I was living in Bangalore, like for 3 years, and I think
Yeah,
he
I was
in Delhi.
in Delhi and then Bangalore before that.
And you guys, how did you guys decide to sort of just move to?
So all three of us, we are college batchmates, college friends, and I think the idea germinated from our bike trips that we used to take on our college holidays, and I think that's where it came up from. And these guys were running an adventure company down south in Bangalore. The whole plan was to come up to the mountains, to the big mountains, the real ones, and make a base here, and basically have it as a place where we can like explore and do our trips and things like those.
What do you think is the best part about running a hostel? You guys have been doing this for almost 4 years now.
The best, it's very difficult to point out what the best part is. It's just again it's a combination of experiences. Like one is you get to live at a place which is so close to nature, and for someone who prefers that over cities, yeah, yeah. And secondly is the one part I can think is you get to meet so many people, and that really opens you up to so many perspectives. You have people coming from all walks of life. You have people coming from all over the world. So it's yeah, you kind of you converse with them, you talk to them. It's kind of like traveling the world without actually moving. And you have hosting people from all over the world. You get to know their experiences as well, how the life is there, and yeah, it kind of like broadens your perspective as well. So yeah.
Also, the part where when the people when they're leaving from here, when they leave with a smile on their face after they've had a nice holiday here, is very heartwarming.
Like we have had people who say that bunker is our home now. So yeah, that feels really satisfying.
so especially like during this time because of the entire COVID situation and everything, what kind of problems are you currently facing?
It's like we are facing a lot of dilemmas in a way. Like see, we were closed for quite a while during lockdown, and now when tourism has started, it's just we sort of feel a responsibility as well, because there have been no case spread here as such of the virus, and since we are the gateway for people to come and stay here, so we have that kind of responsibility as well to be as careful as possible to make sure the situation here doesn't go bad as well. So yeah, it's but and plus we've already lost 6-8 months which used to be full of people. So in one way you want to really open up and get that thing moving on and get that thing opening and running again, but on the other hand we have to be really responsible and careful as well, so that we don't put the community at risk, because it's a village. We are not living in cities with a lot of facilities. We are living in a small village where facilities are limited. So we have to be mindful of that. So right now we are hosting long-term travelers, people who want to actually move, who companies are giving work from home options now everywhere. So people who would want to come here and work from here and stay for a longer period of time, say like a couple of weeks for a couple of months. So we are trying to host them so that we're not like exposed to a lot of people as well, and people are getting tested before they come. So yeah.
Basically hosting serious travelers who want to take in the pains and who want to
Hmm.
take the responsibility of coming here. They they take precautions and they take the COVID tests and they quarantine themselves when they come here for the first few days. So that helps build the confidence in the
Yeah.
people around also, and then generates a comfortable
Mm.
experience for them.
Nice.
So yeah, and also like we have had people who have been stuck here during the lockdown also. Like a few guests have been staying for the last 3 4 months or something like that. And like even initially, like when the whole thing started off in March, we like that's when the season really begins in Himachal, and we were kind of packed both the places. And the people who got left here or who decided to stay back in the mountains, they stayed on for quite a long time, and it was nice that way also. So we have had people in
Yeah.
the hostels all over. But yeah, like he said, the responsibility part is something that's coming in even just now, because earlier, like we were in a bubble kind of a thing, and like the government had kept us protected with closing the borders and everything. But right now, that onus
Yeah.
comes onto us and all the other business of it.
I really love that bit where you said about traveling the world through the people that come to you. So can you tell us a little bit more about the kind of people that come, or any experiences you've had, or any sort of like little anecdotes about the people that come and stay at the bar?
So,
Yeah, it's we have had quite a few actually. We like there are people that we still remember who came 3 years back, even if we have met only for a week. But they have less left kind of a lasting impact on us through their actions, through their So I can give you one a story that I think it was our first year of operations in Dharamkot, and we got a few people from Germany who had come here, and one of the guys was a carpenter, and his dream was to basically travel the world and stay at different places and build wooden houses there. So he wanted, his kind of dream was to have wooden houses that are built by him all around the world, if we could do that. And he came and he stayed with us for quite a while, and he pitched that idea to us. He was really passionate, you could see the spark in his eyes, and he really wanted to build something here. So yeah, so like I think it took, we got everything, we arranged for the food and all, and for 1.5 months, he and his friends and even people from around, a few of the guests, they helped out, and they actually built a cabin, a nice cozy wooden cabin, like for us in our hostel. So
complete with the attic and the
yeah.
ladder and everything.
And even you get into that hostel, and the first thing you see is that cabin, which has been left by someone who have actually stayed in that place. It is something that he added to it. He added his soul to it. So yeah, it's very difficult.
Like even we have had like many other people also. Like another really good aspect of having a hostel is that it's easy to learn new things, pick up skills from people. So we have like we had this Israeli guy here called Ziv, and he was here for I think a couple of weeks or something, and he taught both of us poi and fire. We didn't try it with the fire, we tried it with the rubber dummy balls, but yeah, the whole poi dancing and everything. And like we would like go on night treks, go to the secluded spots in the jungles and practice poi there. And, yeah.
But like we are really missing out on a lot of people. But if we start talking about the people that we remember and the people who have added to this place, it'll take up
We
the
can-
whole it'll take up the whole day.
No, that's I think like the experiences that you have with people, and especially in a space like you have created, and it's so people centric, and there's a lot of emotion attached to it. I'm sure like there would be so many stories to tell, and definitely we'd love to hear it again when we have a call sometime soon. And this again gets to the point of as being hosts and being people who are you're constantly there with the guests and everything. So what has that taught you in terms of being with them? Like, what kind of things have you learned while hosting them?
Quite a lot,
Hello.
I would say. Like the personal growth has been quite a lot over the last 2 3 years. Understanding people, understanding what they're looking for, curating experiences for them, curating, planning, helping them to plan out their day, um, introducing them to new things.
And do you guys get to
I
travel to
think
different places,
Uh,
or are you mostly?
yeah, see, we do, but it's more to like we can't, like we are not covering so many places. Like if we were travelers, full-time travelers, or would be living some in Delhi and we would be traveling, we would have probably covered more number of places.
Hmm.
But since we stay in one place, and if you go to another place, we stay for a while, we have seen more of one place,
Hmm.
like rather than a lot of places, but like
Yeah.
less of it. So yeah, we do travel, like, but no, I don't think anyone travels as much as they ever want to. But but yeah, it's more about we get to, like see, like each and every nook and corners of a place, and like
Hmm.
rather than, yeah, the
Yeah,
number of
and
places.
then get to know the inside of the place rather than just the surface. Definitely,
Mm.
that's really nice.
Yeah. Plus,
Um,
we don't have holidays, long weekends, and all, because that's when that happens, we are the busiest.
True.
So yeah.
Other side, when other people are holidaying, you guys are working. What is that like? Like, do you ever get tired of it?
Like we're too distracted to get tired, I think, with so many people coming in. It's everything is so many things going on in a day. You kind of, like you get lost into it completely. Yeah. So
Also on festivals and if like occasions like these, everyone comes together a lot
mm,
more, because when you celebrate Christmas together, or for example
mm,
New Year's or Diwali and all, the
Hmm.
whole hostel, all the guests and the staff will all come together, celebrate it,
like for
and
the
it
yeah.
becomes a whole like
Like
two
for
3 day
Diwalis, we
thing.
have had people from, like a lot of foreigners who have come, and they have experienced what Diwali is like for the first time. During Christmas, we've had people like we have had people from Germany who were there, and they told us how they celebrated Christmas. So it's been a nice, you get, you know,
We've had
mm,
people cook like their
yeah,
authentic dishes
Christmas
for
dinners
Christmas
and
dinners and
yeah,
potlucks and things like
so do you do bonfires and all as well?
yeah, like time to time, like yeah.
Good.
bonfires, barbecues, live
Mm,
grills,
mm.
the whole
Lovely.
gamut.
That's great.
Just making
Um,
you leave everything and like move to the mountains.
we we talk every
It's
day
not so
because
easy also.
That's
There's
that's
a
the
there's the
part.
other side to living here
Tell us about the
too.
difficult side also. Because right now I'm so
yeah,
tempted. I'm like, chodo sab chalo.
So yeah, it gets difficult also sometimes. It's not always so easy. Like
Yeah.
Like here, we are always like, our day is so much dependent on what the weather is like, for example.
Hmm.
Like here, everything is intense. Like if you have monsoons, it means it rains every day. You don't see sun for weeks. And when there are winters, you get snow, you get power cuts for 5 days. You don't have electricity, you don't have hot water. We have had days where we
or
actually had
water.
to, or water,
Or
yeah,
water.
because the taps freeze. We have had days where you have to actually shovel snow inside our pots, heat, boil them so that we can use some water. So there are, like, you're quite dependent on nature. And basically, in one way, we are here because of that. But then, there is the other side to it as well, which kind of,
It's a learning experience. It
yeah.
helps you grow as a person. You learn to not depend on open clap to come and fix the tap. So you need to figure out how to
Yeah.
manage it till the plumber finally gets
Because
up the mountain
yeah, if
and
you call
decides
a
to come to
plumber,
this
yeah,
range.
it takes at least 2 weeks, and in that 2 weeks, you would have already fixed it by yourself because you have no choice.
that's
Hmm.
So I think one very important question that Sanya and I keep questioning each other about, discussing that what is that relation between travel and art? Like what is the relationship that you would find between a traveler or an artist?
I would think like travel and art is connected very intrinsically. So like with travel, you get freedom, you get new experiences. With new experiences, you expand your horizon, so you get more creative ideas, and that automatically flows into your art form and whatever output you're giving. So travel and like art, like you cannot travel and not create something. Like sitting on a mountaintop, any person will pick up a piece of paper and start a sketch. It may not be good, but it would be a shot at it. So both of them are pretty connected and go well together.
Because as they say, art is a form of expression, and what you express is what you actually feel inside. And when if you travel, then you gain new like, perspectives, new experiences. If your environment around you changes, people around you change, you also kind of that affects you. That affects you directly. So you know you can you'll be different. If you are making art somewhere else, creating art anywhere, like the environment makes a lot of difference. The people around you, what you are thinking at that point, what you feel at that point, you can see it in your art. So yeah.
Also, being away from the regular humdrum of the city and like managing your day-to-day life, if you don't have that, then if you have a freedom to sit and work on your creative art form, is something that also brings.
So have you had any events at the Bunker Hostel? Like, have you ever done anything which, like, a festival or an art
We have had
event, anything of that sort?
we have had quite a few. Music has been the number one thing. So we have a very nice space at both the hostels. So we have had like a violin expert who's come and played a 1 hour long session. We have had small little events where we get 2, 3 different type of musicians. Like there was this one time when we got a poet and a percussionist together, and they basically free jammed for 1.5 hours, and that became an event out of it. And so we call it sessions on the porch, the events that we have. And basically, the aim is to get 2, 3 different type of musicians currently to come, stay here for about 2, 3 days together, and maybe create something new and present it to the crowd who's there. And it's not like one person is coming to perform and then the other person comes. It's a more of a collaborative thing. So giving them the time to build that confidence and the relationship between them, and then coming out to perform.
Okay.
Other than that, we have had a few bigger events also, which have been. I don't know if you've heard about this thing called Musicathon, which happens around here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have hosted a couple of editions of them, and we had a stage at our property,
Okay.
and we had a whole day-long music fest which happened there. So
So apart from that, like many a times you don't even need to create an event as such, because there's so many like talented musicians and people just traveling around. So they just many a times it has happened in the evening. You come to the common room, you come to the cafe, and there are people who are just jamming together, traveling with their own instruments. There have been people who travel with their saxophones and and glockenspiel, guitars, and so, like, there have been times that every night was a music night and we didn't have to do anything. It was just people coming together and creating music. Yeah.
and I think the biggest event we have had is actually setting up the hostels and creating the hostels.
Yeah.
Because because that is a insane party. We have like the beer one, we had about 4, 5, 6 different people coming in. We had a sculptor, we had a spatial artist, we had a general wall painter, and everyone is coming together, creating art form. We are like, sawing off wood, picking up reclaimed wood from all around the property, joining it together, making a coat hanger, and like random things like that. So that was like a 1 month long creative residency, and the hostel was the
I can
canvas.
like
Build it.
Sanya. I'm just looking at Sanya, and We actually had one more question. So, do you have any like permanent staff members at the bunker hostel, or like is it just the three of you?
No, we have we have managers, we have people who are responsible for housekeeping, for the kitchen. So
Okay.
yeah.
We
So
have a
initially it was like so initially when we opened, we had, limited experience, and so we also had to learn a lot. So in that process, then we used to manage a lot of things by ourselves. So now that we have reached that, now we are training people so that, they are also like,
like some of our people have been around with us for the last 3-4 years, and like we have grown with them,
yeah,
and they now know exactly what we would do in a particular situation. So it's very easy to leave the hostel on them and to be outside. And I would say the team is our main strength. It's
yeah,
our major asset that we have,
because
because our properties are on lease.
yeah,
So we can't take them anywhere. Our team is the main
Yeah.
asset we have, and yeah,
because there have been people who have been with us since the day we opened. Like, they have also seen us grow. Like, we like when we opened a cafe for the first time, we had absolutely no idea how to go about it. Like, how does it work out? So they're the ones who also taught to us like how it actually works, and so they've also been with us in this whole journey. So yeah, so for them, they also have this ownership of this place. They don't feel that they are employees of the bunker. They also feel that they're part of it. So if something good happens, they are as ecstatic as us, and so that's
like
that's
a 5-star review will make them
yeah.
equally happy, and a 1-star review will make them equally angry.
Oh my God. It's like a little family, like
Also, the lockdown, I
that's
think it brought us closer, because even though we had to allow them to go back to their homes and stay with their families and everything, obviously that happened. But we were in constant touch with them. We were their support system. We were present for them all throughout, helping them around. And like at the first instance, when we said that we are thinking of opening up, they were here the very next day, cleaning the place and washing the bed sheets and everything. So, like, we don't need to worry about that aspect at all.
What is your vision for the bunker? Like, what do you hope for it? Do you have any like?
Right now, the only thing we are hoping for is COVID to end. But yeah, the vision is like we have 2 places right now. Grow organically as things come, and don't want to like be subject to things that we have to do because of whatever reason. So we want to be able to take decisions on our own and be able to provide the experience to the people, because that is number one priority for us, like growing organically, and we'll see where it goes.
Sounds lovely.
And this was wonderful. Like, thank you guys for having us here. And
our
the next
pleasure.
questions and the other stories are for part 2 when you guys are actually here.
We're just so looking forward to it.
Yes.
So we hope you get people from all across the world, not just India, because we love your vision and we hope all the best.
And
Thank
hope
you.
to see you
Thank you so
soon.
much.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye.
Bye bye.